Well, hello, my friends, my fellow modelers, and my fellow Star Trek fans. I've got another update for the incredible TOMY USS Enterprise NCC 1701 refit in 1/350 scale. The prototype model was recently in Las Vegas at the Star Trek venue, and eventually from there it found its way to Adam Savage's show called Tested. Now, I would like to break down the video for you and condense all the important information on this amazing model. So please enjoy my video. Adam Savage would host TOMY's senior concept and design manager, Chris Huisman, along with Norm Chan, on an episode of Tested that can be seen on Adam's YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description if you want to watch it in its entirety. They're featuring the TOMY USS Enterprise NCC 1701 refit. The model shown is actually a prototype that is 3D printed. Some of the parts were handmade, but the entire model was basically scratched built. The model was made using Gary Kerr's blueprints. There are constant improvements being made before the production version begins. The first step would be the 3D printed model and a handmade prototype. Next would come the tooling molds for the model. These molds weigh upwards of hundreds of pounds and are made of solid steel. Chris would estimate that approximately 16 tools may be used for the Enterprise model. These are toolings needed for the Arboretum, Officers' Lounge, as well as the shuttle bays, as well as the ship. Currently, the CAD files are being planned out to begin the process of moving everything to production. Chris said that they typically, for a project of this size, have a 2-year target from planning to shipping of the item. He goes on to say that the current campaign is available for purchase until September 15th of 2024. When it comes to the Aztecing, Adam would describe the process as the subtle specter highlighting of slight metallic color paints. Chris Huisman would confirm that it would be a 4-color Aztecing paint scheme. The pattern on the prototype model used is not the actual final pattern that will be on the model. However, with help from Gary Kerr, Carl Tate, Matt Cushman, Glenn Swanson, and Mark Myers, they are working to achieve and perfect the final Aztecing pattern for the model. Chris went on to say that it would be painted with a process called tampo pad printing. Tampography is a process where a rubber pad is used that puts a silkscreen pattern on the surface of the model. He went on to say that it would be a base coat of iridescent blue, and then there would be overlaid patterns until the desired base coat is achieved. Chris also points out that of all the Enterprise filming models were shot in black and white, making it more difficult to see the details when it comes to the colors used. It is worth noting that the Enterprise finished model will have no weathering on it at all. It will be seen as brand new, as when she left space dock after her refit. Chris also says it is possible that the registry markings will be tampo printed or water slide decals will be used. In reference to the paint, Chris also says that inspiration actually came from a taxidermy type of paint that is constantly being refined. When it comes to the lighting, Chris would mention that they wanted to replicate the startup sequence as much as possible. So when the model is turned on, it will go through the startup sequence like it did on screen. Chris describes the selection of the bulbs as trial and error. He would also say that the base would contain lights to illuminate different parts of the ship as it appeared on screen in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. Chris would speak of the added value of items made in die-cast, even though it would add to the weight and the shipping expenses. He says TOMY has been around for nearly 100 years, and Ertl is also part of the TOMY company, so the die-cast toys have been very important to them for many years. He would also speak of the screw holes in the model, and they were trying to hide them much better than they did on the original series Enterprise. One such method is placing the screws behind panels. These panels will then snap into place to conceal the screws. Areas include the saucer pylon, the nacelle pylons, the backs of the nacelles, the strung back sections on top and on the bottom of the ship, and there are also these types of panels on the underside of the primary hull as well. Chris points out that these are all subject to change, as the model is undergoing a constant refinement. When it comes to the stand or base, it is going to be powered by USB. There will be no batteries at all in the ship or the base. And when it comes to the original series Enterprise model, Chris explained that if it would have been ran off electricity, there was concerns that the Bussard collector motors could burn out after long periods of constant use. He went on to say that they considered a shut-off time limit on the ship as well. He also will go on to say that the Enterprise Refit will have no moving parts at all and will be able to sustain long periods of usage by running off of the electrical power supply. Chris would also point out that there is going to be no assembly required for this model. There are contacts on the bottom of the ship, and that would make connection to the stand for the lighting to be enabled. When taken out of the box and put onto the stand, it is ready to go. And when it comes to the support rods on the base leading up to the primary hull, Chris says that it's still a work in progress, and he is not sure if the finished model will have any or not, but being a 20-pound model, it may require the supports needed. So my friends, again, I'll leave a description and link in the description if you want to check it out. And I hope you enjoyed my video. I kind of filtered out all the important information that I thought was important. So my friends, until the next update for the TOMY Enterprise Refit, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.